drive me crazy or call me mad. I don't know. My mates all said to me, why'd you do it? You're giving up the Tenere 700 for a Honda XL750 Transalp. Yep, that's what I've done, guys. Long story short, we were killing a bit of time, so we thought we'd pop into the local motorbike store, and I walked in and I saw the Transalp sitting there and I went, wow, that is a nice bike. It's got nice lines, it just looked really great just sitting there on the shop floor. Everything just seemed to be well built, well put together and well designed, which I like to see on a bike. I see a lot of bikes today, it just seem like they're thrown together, but the Honda XL750, it just looked right. And I've been looking at changing my style of riding from the rougher stuff to more of the touring stuff, and I've been looking for a touring bike. So I thought of things like the CF Moto, a couple of the KTMs, Beamer, stuff like that. But I saw this, asked the price, and once I knew the price, I couldn't walk away from it. Well, actually I did. I did walk away. I drove away. We got about 25 k's down the road, and we turned around and come back, and I purchased a bike. And for a couple of weeks there, I sort of regretted it a little bit. I thought, what have I done? This is crazy. I've got a bloody perfectly good bike, though. The Yamaha Tenere 700 served me really well. It goes really well. Does everything I want. It actually does a lot more than I want. It's a more capable bike than what I am as a rider. It does off-road really well. It does road generally pretty well. So I can't really complain. But I want something that I can build up as a bit of a project and do more touring. And this is the bike that I've chosen. And 3 weeks on, I'm not disappointed. I haven't done a lot of Ks on it. I've done, going on 600 kilometres now, so not a lot. Most of it's been a mix of, I suppose, the sealed road and also the gravel road, which I'm on now. Now, it's not going to be a full review. Now, I'm not going to go through all the tyres and stuff like that. The tyres are what they are. They're just standard bloody road tyres as far as I'm concerned. They are a bit slippery in the gravel and stuff like that. But if you're doing stuff like this road here, no worries at all. You get into a bit of gravel and it's a bit slippery, but the intention with a lot of these bikes, as most of you know, is you buy it and you change things to suit yourself. I'll change to better tyres, probably put on some Motors. I'll probably put a Motors GPS on the back. On the front, I don't know what yet, but yeah. But, alright, so what have I found so far? This bike is really easy to move around, unlike the Tenere. Now, it's not a criticism of Tenere, but they are top heavy. There's no doubt about it. You feel that when you're in the rough. You feel you get to a point where I suppose it's about there, and it just feels like the bike's going to fall. And that might be just me, my style of riding. I don't know. I don't know, guys. If you got one, please comment down below. I appreciate that. Tell me what you think. But more and more riders are saying that it is top heavy. It falls over easy. Just in the garage moving it around. Then moving this one around, this moves around really easy, like almost like a 250cc rather than a 750cc. Now, weight difference, the Tenere 700 I think comes in at 204 kilograms and this one comes in at 208 kilograms. I think they're both wet weights. I'll confirm that, but they're both bikes going to be pretty well set up the same, pannier racks, crash bars, bark busters, bash plate, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so I just found that this was a lot easier. So I'm going to do a bit of a test. I'm going to drop both bikes on the side because I've still got the Tenere. Drop them on the lawn on a set of scales and just see what the down weight is on the handlebars from the picking up position. I'm just taking it easy here, guys, because I've got this Insta360 in front of me, sort of blocking probably, 25% of my vision. And yeah, I just don't want to drop this bike. I don't have any crash bars on it as yet. I've only got the pannier bars, so we need to take it easy. So alright, so we're going to put it on the side and have a bit of a look and a bit of a basic review and comparison of the both bikes side to side. But yeah, back to this bike here. I find it really good. It's got different levels of traction control. Braking's really good. Seat on it, well, it's probably what I call a 150 kilometre seat. I get to about 150 kilometres and then it's starting to feel a little bit sore. Alright, the seat might need to soften up over time, which is a bit of a given. I'll probably put a cool dry cover on it, one of those 3D mesh covers on it, because I like those. They're really good. I will be doing a review on one of them. So some changes coming, but I've got some big tours coming up. I'm going to go do Tasmania, which is approximately, about 900 kilometres from here. I'm going to go down to the Isle of Tasmania with a few mates, and I also would like to go all the way up to the Cape York. I'm going to do this. This is going to be more suited to the road riding and this sort of track here, rather than the really off-road, heavy-duty sort of stuff. But I want to get away from the heavy-duty sort of stuff because, you know, it's I've done it. I've done it over the years. I enjoy it. But the big plan at the end of the day is to have two bikes, and I can do this with the Tenere, no doubt. But this one just suits me a little bit more for what I want to do. I'm looking at getting something like maybe a WR450 or a DSZ400. Something interesting I've noticed in the adventure bike world is the amount of riders who have invested in the larger bikes because they've come from road riding and want to do a bit of adventure bike riding, or they rode bikes many years ago and they thought, you know, they'll get back into it. So they've gone out and bought this big lump of a bike, and now after a bit of riding, they're de-investing, I suppose. They're selling off their bigger bikes and they're going for the smaller bikes, things like the Honda CRF300. Now that's a great bike, you know, puts out some bloody good power. Bikes like that, the DRZ400, some of the 650s, I suppose the 600, and I suppose even the Tenere 700. Quite often you'll see adverts for adventure bikes where you have these star riders like Paul Terez riding up the side of trees and mountains, you know, doing big enduro rides and all that sort of stuff, and people will buy a bike thinking, wow, if I got one of them, maybe I could do that. Well, the reality is, you probably won't. You know, it's 99% of us won't do that. We'll buy a bike that we're going to, you know, putt around on trails like this, go off on the odd camping trip, go and do some basic events and stuff like that. Yeah, it really blows me away that people will buy a bike for that 1% chance, that chance they're going to do it. All right, so 1% chance, unless you've got it in the toolbox, you can do it if you want to. So I suppose my advice to most people buying bikes is sit down for a while and have a good look at all the options out there as far as bikes go, and work out what you really want to do. You know, what do I really want to do? I want to do stuff like this. You know, I've done all the hard stuff, and that's all fun. I'll buy a second bike for that. The Tenere 700 can do all that hard stuff, no worries at all, but this just feels a little bit more like me. When I did buy, one of my mates said to me, yeah, that's so you, that's the perfect bike for you, and I tend to agree. It is. So before you get caught out by all the glitz and glamour of the advertising, seeing these guys, you know, doing big enduro rides on all these bikes, jumping them, sliding out donuts, climbing up the side of walls, all that sort of stuff, have a good think about what am I actually going to be doing with this bike? What am I going to be riding it for? Is it this sort of stuff? Is it just adventure camping? Is it adventure touring? Is it enduro? I don't know. Tenere 700 can do all that, not a problem. This can do most of it. I don't know if it can do enduro. I suppose it's good with the proper rider on it, and you know, if you set it all up. But let's look at the bike. Let's have a look at something like Paul Terez's bike, Tenere 700. Now that bike, I believe, weighs something like 160 kilos. Man, that's like nearly 50 kilos lighter than what the shop weight is. So, you know, it's really ridiculous, and it's highly altered. There's a lot of changes being made to it, and obviously Paul Terez is a world champion, so he's going to throw it around. Yeah, there's also a lot of, I suppose, outtakes to go with his videos of where he has dropped the bike. So I wouldn't go buying a bike based on that. But at the end of the day, you have a few changes, and you can do it if you've got the skill. Not a problem. But this is me. This is my riding, and this is why I like the Honda Transalp, because it's very much suited for this sort of riding. So one big gripe with the bike is the air filter. The air filter is positioned underneath the tank, a bit like the Ducati X. Now that was one of the big negatives with the Ducati X, and it will also be a negative with this bike here. So designers, I don't know what you're on when you think about this, but hey, put the air filter under the seat or on the side. I like the old style bikes, you know, where you've got the little door on the side of your bike, a couple of little things you turn, you pull it out, and you can access your bloody air filter, you know, within seconds. This one here, it's a bloody mission to get the tank off and get into that air filter. Haven't done it yet. I don't know when I'm going to have to do that, because I can't just regularly check the air filter like I can on the Tenere or maybe on the DRZ or one of those bikes, you know, where it's really in a simple place. The other negative is, I suppose, I don't know, I suppose the little bulbous thing that hangs off the bottom of the motor, could have done a lot better job with that Honda, there's no doubt about that, but I do have B&B off-road bash plate down the bottom, which I'll show you, which protects all that. So it's one of those bikes where, you know, you buy it and then you spend a few $1,000s on adding protection, adding gear and all that sort of stuff. That's a given on an adventure bike. But you know what? This bike is very spirited. I'm really happy for it. Well, happy for me more than anything. It's a spirited bike on the gravel, spirited on the road and all that sort of stuff. You've got several user modes. I'm in gravel at the moment, so I'm just trying them out. I don't think I really use a lot of the user modes because, I don't know, the Tenere 700, it doesn't have any of this sort of, I don't know, whiz-bang technology happening on it, which is great because I like the old school sort of stuff. I like to be able to ride a bike and feel the bike. I don't really like the computer doing everything for me. I like to feel where it's slipping and where I have to power on or power off, not where I have to brake. So yeah, the ABS system is not easy to turn off. You know, you've got to fill it around and set up your own user mode and all this sort of crap. Shouldn't be like that, guys. When you design these bikes, just make it simple. If you're going to make a simple bike like this, have a look at the Tenere 700. Have a look at what they've done there. You know, it'll tick all the boxes there for bloody good design of a bike. Now, this is a very good design for an adventure touring bike, no doubt about it. So, other than that, I can't think of any negatives. The seat could have some work on it, could be a bit softer. Maybe a design, as you go back to the 70s and have a look at how they designed seats back then, they felt pretty bloody good. This may need to soften up. It's a little bit wider than the Tenere. I will be putting a cool dry cover over, one of those 3D mesh printed covers over it. I like those. I will be doing a review on them as well. So guys, please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think of these bikes, what you thought. So if you think I'm crazy, let me know. I'm happy to hear that.